righty, gang. Hello, hello, hello. It's Rod Building with Tiffany and David Bacon Thursday, and it's sponsored by ReelQuick Fishing. And we are super excited always on Thursdays. I learned something every Thursday. I'm still blown away with that. I can bust my rod up into pieces and you can put it back together again. Even though my good buddy Dave Burris says, don't bust it up into pieces, just let it be. I want to try it at least once. I want to bring it to the show at the PCS show and have you put it back together again, Tiff. I think that would be totally cool. Gang, I just want to tell you guys, thank you all very, very much for watching our shows every day. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I can't thank you enough. And our YouTube channel, we are fastly approaching 100,000 subscribers. We're at 95,000 right now. And it's not going to be long. We're getting about 500 or 600 new subscribers a month. So we're going to be up there. We're going to be at 100,000 here really soon. So I want to thank you all very, very much for that. And Tiffany, you and your dad do a great job on Thursdays. So thank you very much. You keep our audience super educated. And for that, I cannot thank you enough. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And then, gang, something really strange. And hey, Lisa, how are you today? Big time watching Lisa tonight, Tiffany. Lisa's going hooping with Justin. So
yes, I'll be right there watching.
We got that tonight. That's going to be fun. But I want to tell you guys, I tried something yesterday. A lot of our viewers, a lot of our members are telling us, Dave, you got to do that horizontal. We like it in the horizontal where the picture is all filled up on the screen. You got to try it. So I did it yesterday morning. You guys, this is going to blow your minds. You're not going to understand it. I don't understand it. In the morning, I went live with Justin on the horizontal screen where it takes up the whole screen. Everybody, the picture's better. Everything looks super cool to the average human being. We got 230 views. Then I did my podcast at noon with the Coastal Worldwide guys. Then I came back to Justin in the afternoon. Now, in the morning, you would think, oh my gosh, Tiffany, this is going to be great. They were catching fish one after the other. They couldn't get their baits in the water fast enough. They were just catching. They probably caught 50 or 60 fish live on the show. I'm like, God, we should get a bunch of views. I don't understand. We should get a bunch of views. We got 212, actually. I'm looking right now. 212 views. Then we went live in the afternoon on the vertical screen like you and I are on right now, right?
Right.
72,000 views. And we caught 3 little baby rockfish. And it went for 2.5 hours.
Isn't that mind-boggling?
I don't understand it. So the next time someone asks me, Dave, we want to see the whole screen, I'm going to have to tell you, I can't afford to show you the whole screen. Because no one watches, gang. It's unfortunate, but YouTube will not push this thing out in front of people if we show you the whole screen. Like Tiffany and I, we're going to talk about this rod wrapping thing today, and I just want to show this picture on the screen, okay? Because I wanted to show it the right way, but this is the picture we can show you because and really, if I show it to you where you can see the whole picture, no one's going to watch.
Maybe it's the hidden pieces, what they're trying to see if we're going to show that section of it.
Oh my gosh, it doesn't make any sense to me. Marley's baffled, right, Marley? You're baffled. Kelly's baffled. Tiffany's baffled. And I'm certainly baffled. So we're just going to keep doing it this way from now on, just because for some reason, it's the only reason I can think of is people watch.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's all it is about, is we want to get our stuff out in front of the most people we could possibly get it out in. So proof's in the pudding. So what do you got to talk about today, Tiffany, since we can't show the picture?
Well, it'll be a very long topic then, since I can't show the picture, because now I'm going to have to explain the picture, but that's fine. Today,
well, there, I'll put the picture up. They can see.
With half the missing pieces.
Right.
That's going to be a funny one. But, a lot of the viewers, like Lisa, they're all in my class. So we just finished this portion last weekend. So some of them will know exactly what that picture is. And maybe they can go on the little chat and say something that they've learned from it. This is on spiral wraps, actually. They've got several different names for spiral wraps these days. It actually started back in like 1909 by a guy named John Scanlon. Then about, I want to say 1949, it started getting to be more popularized with rod building. The names started changing, and at this point in like 1949, 1950-ish, somewhere around there, the method started getting called the Roberts wrap after Chuck Roberts. Then later, the same method started getting new names added, like the acid wrap, which the rumor on this is that it was originated from a West Coast builder, rod builder, from his psychedelic experience, is what I was told how it came by.
All right.
But today the spiral wrap, half the people call it spiral wrap, other half call it an acid wrap. It's basically a highly respected custom rod building technique for conventional rods. It's valued for the performance and stability, specifically for like the heavy duty fishing. The primary purpose was to eliminate rod torque or twist. When a fish would be putting on a fight or puts the rod under a heavy load, by moving the line from the top of the blank to the bottom. The physics pretty much just mimics a spinning rod setup, where the load is directly under the rod spine. Doing it this way, it would result in less angler fatigue, meaning you don't have to fight the rod trying to roll over in your hands. Gives you more power. The rod and reel setup are more stable, allowing you to fight larger fish with less effort. So the two primary names were spiral wrap or acid wrap. Now, the philosophy is very interesting of why this started. Like I was telling you a little bit before, it basically takes away the torque and fatigue. When fighting a large fish, say in the instance of jigging, when the guides on a fish are on top, what happens when the fish is swimming right or left? The rod wants to, kind of spin into your hand, whichever way the fish is going. So when you're fighting a lot of fish over the course of the day, with this happening, the torque from your wrist and the overall fight will become really, really tiresome for a lot of people. So when you put the guides from the top and transition to the bottom, mimicking the spinning rod, this is when, for when the fish swims left or right, the torque is eliminated. So you have a lot less fatigue and fight the fish a lot more effectively. There's other benefits like for it too, like per se, have you had any when jigging, like the line on the tip top gets hinged up, and that happens a lot with anglers who are jigging. When they're jigging the line up and down, your top is facing up on a conventional, so it has room to snag. And a lot of times when anglers are jigging, they're lowering their line below the tip below the line, which creates that little edge where it can, jump onto their tip and cause entanglement. Well, with this thing where it's you're transitioning from the top to the bottom, your tip is now facing down. It's not like a normal conventional rod where it faces up. It's facing down, so that when you're jigging, it doesn't have anything to catch up on. It just falls right off of the tip. Does that make sense?
Yeah, to me it does. I don't know if everybody stayed up with it, but yeah, the thing about that, when you drop the rod faster than the line, or you drop down and the line has slack in it, sometimes it'll get wrapped on the guide. I've seen it break 3 or 4 guides down when you drop down, and then you get bit at that. For some reason, the fish just sees what's going on. He bites it at the same time, and then the rod goes to bend, and it bends in such a weird, and it just snaps.
Yep.
And then you're like, oh my God. So the acid wrap, for spiral wrap, whatever you guys like to call it, that would take care of that problem, right?
Absolutely. That's one of the reasons why a lot of people like doing it. Not just that, but there's a lot of different things that are, help the fishing and the casting. A lot of people think it improves their casting distance and the accuracy. I've had many conversations with a lot of different people, some who have had, all their I can't talk today, their rods wrapped in the spiral wrap, people that wrap and do the spiral wraps, people that have half spiral wrapped rods and other normal. Hey, Daniel, how's it going? How's it going, Daniel?
He's kind of froze up.
It's going to be too noisy in here for me to talk, so I'm just going to hang in here with you guys. Can you hear me?
All right, cool.
Do you know how to sign? You can sign to me. Okay. So anyhow, that, talking to a lot of different people on, their reasons of the rod spiraling for acid wrap or spiral wrap or whatever you guys want to call it. Everybody has their own name to it. They all seem to agree that when you're casting with the tip on top, it's going to want to fall to the right or left when it comes off the tip. But when you have it facing down on the bottom, it's going to have a straighter line to your target. So that's where you get the more accurate and longer casting distance. There's nothing there to bump or manipulate which way it goes. It just becomes a straight shot, we call it. People ask what rods you can spiral wrap. You can pretty much spiral wrap any rod, from small rods to medium rods. I have friends that have every single one of their rods spiral, from freshwater to saltwater, 5-foot crappie rods, tiny little cute ice rods, to tuna rods, rockfish and lingcod, halibut rods, bounce balling rods. I mean, you name it. You can pretty much spiral anything. About the only thing you'd have trouble on spiral wrapping would be a spinning rod. That would defeat the whole purpose of what the spiral wrap, acid wrap is made for, would be the spinning rod. I have yet to see someone, do a spiral wrap from a spinning rod position to going over to conventional. That just would take out a whole lot of mess of things, huh, Dad?
Well, that could. Now, I want to admit something here. I myself am not a fan of acid wrap or spiral wrap, and the reason is just the physics of use and materials. You're not only bending the fibers of that rod, but you're twisting them. And that just begs kind of wearing out that rod, the blank, quicker than anything else. I know spiral wraps are popular, and they add a dimension, but I think they're hard on a blank because you're twisting as well as bending the fibers. That's my own personal thoughts on them.
Well, I feel the same way you feel. I've never, ever used one. I have no idea how it feels. I don't know. I personally couldn't grab one out of the rack. I couldn't go use yours or somebody else's because I know what rods I'm going to fish with today. And those are the rods I'm going to use. And I don't second guess myself on rod selection because I know what I'm going to do. And Dave, we're just set in our ways. Maybe it's bad. Maybe it's good. It took me a long time to use braid. It took me a very, very long time. I was probably one of the last people. Now I can't imagine not using braid. I can't even fish with monofilament. It's like fishing with a rubber band, but forever I was a mono guy. So maybe there's something to that, but I'm with you, Dave. I'm 64. I'm going to go to the grave never touching a acid wrapped, spiral wrapped rod. And gang, before we get any further down the line here on this whole thing, I want to tell everybody that's members of Your Saltwater Guide, we are very blessed to have Dave Bacon doing the reports for Southern California, or the area up there in the Ventura, Oxnard, Point Conception area. Dave's going to be giving us reports on Thursdays whenever he can. He's a busy man, but the report he gave me today, oh my God, it is just insane. The way that he covered, I'm not going to let you guys hear it. You guys got to be members of the website, but you got into some really cool stuff on this report, and thank you very much for that. And I'm very honored to have you as part of it.
Well, thank you, Captain Dave. It's kind of a joy, really. I have fished the Santa Barbara Channel and Channel Islands for decades. And as a charter captain, when you got to produce, people expect to catch fish, and all of the things that I've learned, now I can kind of pour some of that into the reports for your thing that you're doing.
Your Saltwater Guide.
Yeah, Your Saltwater Guide. And that makes me feel good because I honestly think I can help people catch fish, and what's more important than that?
And I'll tell you what, Dave, for me, every Thursday when I put together these things, I feel like I'm out there. I'm over here at the Catalina, or I'm on the coast, or I'm at San Clemente Island. I'm actually, in my head, I'm there, and I'm putting the puzzle together. And then, just like the other day, Danny Fan calls me up, and he's like, Dave, thank you for the numbers. We slayed the squid. We had the light on for 5 minutes, and they were floating everywhere. And then somebody else calls me up and says, Dave, thank you for the spot at West Cove. We caught 5 yellowtail, and this was in December. I'm like, yeah, it's kind of cool to have people actually take your advice and then go out and execute and then call you and tell you thank you. It's a pretty fun deal.
It is. I've never believed in the secrecy thing in fishing. And I know that makes me kind of a lone wolf in some regards, because there's a lot of secrecy among a lot of people in fishing. But, all the articles I've written and reports I've done, I'm happy to share where people might go fishing and catch some fish. I don't feel like they're taking my fish away from me or my customers' fish, because I can go find fish. And so I'm really happy to share. Makes me feel good.
Yeah, absolutely. You're absolutely right. And one thing that I learned probably, gosh, I don't know, we made those videos in 80, 89, the hotspot, the GPS. Back then it was Loran. We made it with the Loran. We didn't even have GPS.
I remember.
And I made those hotspots videos, and we got between me and Mark wish we got crucified, but
Yeah.
at the end of the day, I look back and I go, you know what? 90% of those spots they took away from us anyway. We can't even go there anymore. They're
Good
closed
point.
areas now. So
Good point.
if
I
we
know.
don't give and share the knowledge that we've accomplished over all these years of being charter boat captains and having to produce, but we need to share with all these people that have a job and can only fish on Saturday or can only fish the third Friday of the month because of this stupid job thing. How can they get the knowledge and have the knowledge to understand currents and the spots and how to anchor on? If we don't share it, they're not going to be successful. And then they're going to sell their boat and and it all works together in tandem. Just like you own a tackle store. If somebody doesn't share with these people what to do, nobody's going to buy tackle.
I know. It always made me shake my head when someone would come in and I'd say, "Hey, how's fishing?" And they'd say, "Yeah, I can't tell you. I can't tell you because you're gonna. I know you're gonna share with people, and and that's gonna kill the bite, you know." And I just go, "Okay, you don't need to give me a report. I know." You know? And we go out there on our charter boat and slay the fish, you know. What got me, another thing would be we'd be heading out of harbor in the morning and we'd look back and see 3 boats following us. And by the time we get out to the spot, there'd be 4 boats following us. And, you know, okay, you take that as a compliment. They knew that yesterday we had caught fish at such and such a reef. Okay. And so today we go out by that reef and a couple of them had seen us out there and they race ahead of us and anchor right where we were the day before, thinking they're going to ace us out of the spot. But in the meantime, like you just mentioned, Dave, the currents had changed since yesterday. And now I'm anchored over on the other side of the reef zone, and people are looking around and rods on our boat are bent, and rods on other boats are not bent. And yeah, you got to be able to read the situation of the moment as well as knowing just synoptically where the fish ought to be right now.
Yeah, I had Todd Manser on the show the other day, and he brought up something that I hadn't thought of for a long time, but you just mentioned it. There has never in our lives fishing for a living. Yesterday was like the day before. Every single day is totally different, no matter what. You and I could have the greatest idea of this white sea bass bite, and we get 3 or 4 of our buddies to come on the boat with us, and we go over there the next day, and it isn't even anywhere near what it was like yesterday morning.
And they're doing that.
And then you roll around and you figure it out. You put the puzzle together and you go and you make it a great day, but that would make it less challenging. And that would probably make it less fun if it was just good all the time and we never had to work for it and we didn't have to understand it and we didn't have to read the current.
Well, nobody would need us then.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
You got to have these complex brains that can, you know, just sort of manipulate data and figure things out and go find fish, you know?
Oh yeah. It's pretty cool. And I'm glad that you're a part of this now. And gang, if you guys haven't taken advantage of we give you guys everything you need to be successful when you get out there on the big lake, and it's a big lake. And if you don't have a code group, if you don't have a buddy who's out there every single day, I would definitely think about signing up for your saltwater guide. But the proof's in the pudding, gang. The same 60 or 70 people that are on here every day telling you what they're doing and having fun and commenting on the sidelines here, the Tim Ogilvies, the Lisas, the Darrens, the Matt. These are members of the website. That's why they're having so much fun, and the camaraderie and the community that we made. We've had this going on since 2017, and we have built one hell of a community with over 5,000 members. And these people love the camaraderie and love to share what they're doing. And this never been done before in our industry. Cause like Dave Bacon was saying, he lived in a tackle store for a long time and people don't share. They do not share. And you're like blown away. On our website, everybody's sharing their success and their failure. Just so we know, we don't want to go there tomorrow. There wasn't anything there.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, one thing about sharing in tackle shops, one of the really magical things about a tackle shop was I'd be there and I'd see literally a brain surgeon. I know the guy, he is a brain surgeon, right? And he's standing there in the store talking with this, 20-year-old tatted up to here gang member. And the two of them are just talking like there's absolutely no difference between them at all because they're talking about fishing. Right. And at that point, the rest of the world goes away. And I always thought that was just one of the most beautiful things of having a tackle store.
Absolutely. That is the most beautiful thing. And that's why I think this community that I built is so important, because it gives everybody a place. Because there's other websites out there, gang, you can be a part of, but they spew the most negative garbage I've ever heard, man. And if you ask a question, oh Lord, you ask a question, you are going to get just buried. You are going to get buried. And it's not that way at Your Saltwater Guide with 5,000 plus members. And we're just sharing all the information and there's no negativity, which, my gosh, take 3 minutes out of your busy day and turn on a news channel and tell me if there's any negativity there.
Oh, you're going to give yourself a heart attack.
I'm going to add to that just a comment from my experience with you, what you're doing, your family, and your network. I feel that you, Captain Dave Hansen, have put together this large-scale brain trust, and you bring us all in to Your Saltwater Guide, and with the knowledge among your network of people you bring in who are happy to share in a positive and not negative way, I think, my opinion is you serve the angling community better than anybody I've ever known.
Well, thank you for that, Dave Bacon. That means a lot coming from you, buddy. I appreciate it. It humbles me to think that you feel that way. Thank you very much.
You have earned it.
Cool, man. Cool. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. You make me all misty-eyed. It's unbelievable, gang. I just saw a need and a want, and I couldn't handle the negativity at the tackle stores, at every level of this social media thing for fishermen. And like, your tackle shop was totally different, but 99% of these tackle shops, when you walk in them, man, the kids behind the counter are just rude. They're rude. And I'm just like, wow, how do you sell stuff here? I don't understand it. Why are you so rude? You're fishermen. There's nothing special about us. There is nothing special. You know how to fish? Big flipping deal. Big deal. You guys, and all of them, the negative kids and adults that work at these tackle shops, they have the most vile stuff to say about me. It's just, they've never even sat down with me and had a cup of coffee or spent any time talking to me, but boy, they sure do know me. And it's pretty crazy. I just don't understand it, but whatever. The proof's in the pudding, Dave. All I need is people like you. And you see by our guest list, the people that want to be on our show, we kind of are doing something right. I can promise you that. But we're going to keep doing what we're doing. So, Tiffany, somebody just asked, what is the advantage and the disadvantage of the spiral wrap building rods and for a fly rod or a conventional rod species like bass and trout?
Well, when you get into like the fly rod part, here's where you have a problem. Which way are the guides on a fly rod facing?
Down.
They're facing down. Same with the same with the spinner. So the whole purpose of the spiral wrap is to transition a conventional rod into mimicking basically a spinning rod. As far as what advantages go, many people say that it gives them better casting accuracy, casting distance because of the guides being down. Downfall, well, now you're carrying a rod to a boat that has rods 3/4 away around the blank. So when you put up a rod in a boat rack, like when you're going from spot to spot to spot, you're going to be banging these guides. The transporting of the guides of the rods is a downfall, because most people, when they see guides, they're not going to expect to see guides going around. They usually look down at a rod towards what the reel is, and they'll see a conventional reel. So in their head, it's a conventional rod. So when they're moving it, they're going to put it the conventional way, where the reel's facing you, away from the back of the boat, but you've got guides going this way. So in transport, if you're on like a 6-pack and you're, going, 20, 30 knots across the ocean, on the step, you've got your rod going like this, and guess what's hitting the side of the boat? The guides, the ones that you don't want to be hitting. So things can happen with spiral wraps in transport. Same thing with putting it in your car. Everyone wants to put it one way, safely, protect the guides. Well, then all of a sudden you're slamming your car door and you've just shoved it up against, the guide up against the side of your wall of your car. So that's pretty much the only downside of the spiral. Is transportation is difficult. Bundling them up together. A lot of people like to bundle up their rods, and they'll put like a bungee cord around it or some sort of strap around it. You've got these rods that have things going around them. So that's another issue with them.
Can I add to that?
Yeah. Go ahead.
There's a big difference between casting and fighting a fish. Hopefully you don't have to reel in without fighting a fish. That happens. I know. But okay, when you're casting, let's take a fly rod, for example. It's really true with any rod. But when you're casting, okay, the idea with guides in alignment, you want that line to go through those guides with as little contact with the edge of those circles inside the guide as possible, because that slows them down. You want your line just flying straight through the center of those eyes so that there's no resistance. Now, you spiral wrap that rod, and now all of a sudden you're creating a situation where your line is going to be hitting the sides of those guides inside. Like, maybe not the first guide, but every guide past that. So that's going to detract from your cast. So there's a disadvantage. Now, you get a fish on, and okay, now you're doing what I was talking about first. The rod's bent, you got pressure on there, and so the line is going to be hitting the guides whether you got spiral wrap or not. If you don't have spiral wrap, your line's going to be hitting the base, the bottom part of the circle of the guide. With a spiral wrap, depending on which one, is going to be hitting the edge of them. Here you were doing what I was talking about earlier, of you were not only bending the fibers of the rod, but you're twisting the fibers of the rod. And that's going to add a dimension of force to that, which means that rod is going to feel a little bit stiffer than it would if you had a straight line wrap, because a straight line wrap, you're just bending. With the spiral, you're bending and twisting the fibers. So the rod is going to feel a little stiffer. In the case of a conventional, to achieve that, I mean, if that's why you spiral wrapped, you could achieve it by going from a 10 to 20 pound rod to a 15 to 30 pound rod, a little bit heavier, and you'd have that again. So you don't need a spiral wrap to do that, but it does do that. And that's whether it's a fly rod, conventional, or whatever. So there's two more factors to consider. It's going to detract from the cast. It just is. And then you're going to twist those fibers as well as bend them. So it's going to add, seems like strength, but it's like action or weight.
Right.
Oh, to the rod in use when you have a fish on.
Now, the interesting thing is a lot of when this started becoming more and more popular here, manufacturers would not warranty a blank if it had been acid wrapped or spiral wrapped for that exact same reason, because of the torque. I think Dave Burrows said it really good about how it weakens it and the torques of it. Well, now it's becoming more popular that some of the manufacturers will what's the word I'm looking for? Warranty. Thank you. Will warranty it, the popularity, if it's done right, is what they say. Now, from one manufacturer to another manufacturer, what is right?
Right. Yeah. I don't understand it. But listen, Doc probably can't go out on a little boat, Mike Lewis. Not that you have a little boat, but I don't think Doc walks with a cane. I don't think he's going to spend much time on a boat anywhere. But Tiffany and you can work on that later on down the line. You give Tiffany a call. We'll try to find out what Doc's doing. But I don't think Doc's going to spend much time at the rail anymore. Seems to me like he's into the wrapping thing, and he's not real swift on his feet anymore, as most people that are that age. They're just, and he'll admit it, he's just not real good at standing at the rail anymore fishing. Then river recon fly fishing. It's not a silly question because I fly fish. I'm super into freshwater fishing, and the flipping jigs for bass, a casting rod reel setup. I know, silly Midwest guy. But Dave, you probably fish bass as much as I have freshwater. We don't care. If we can piss a puddle, we're going to fish in it. Doesn't matter fresh or salt or our own urine. But what is the deal with a flipping rod? Is there anything for that for fishing acid wrap?
I'm not seeing the question.
Okay, well, I'm telling you it right now. You may not see it, but I am. River recon fly fishing.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for answering my question. I was thinking a scenario of a flipping rod for bass with a casting rod reel setup. I know, silly Midwest guy.
It's not a silly question. For flipping jigs, casting rods, bait casting rods, you can do it with, but it's the problem when it comes to spinning rods or fly fishing rods, because the guides are already down. A lot of people have bait casting rods that go, spiral wrap, acid wrap, whichever you want to call it. And it's basically just transferring from the conventional side and rolling it over to, like a spinner. So it's just that halfway over. So there's a lot of people that do that. You can do a scenario for flipping jigs as long as you're going from like the casting to it, not going from a spinning to casting.
And flipping, you're frequently not trying to cast a super long ways.
Right.
So shorter cast, that spiral wrap detracts from the cast. Okay, but in this case, it doesn't really matter that much because you're flipping. You're not just trying to make this, Mondo cast halfway across the lake or something. So I think it matters more in the casting in this case than in the catching.
Absolutely. Hey, Daniel Rubin, I'm going to show these guys a video you and I made real quick here, fishing products. This is a very, very important so you understand the ReelQuick deal. Check this out.
All right, gang, your saltwater guide, Capt. Dave Hansen. We're down here at the Pacific Coast Sport Fishing Show, and I'm with Daniel Rubin, the creator of the ReelQuick Reel Seat System. This is an amazing, amazing product.
You guys check this out. ReelQuick Fishing is a dovetail connection. It is in the unlocked position for simplicity here. Comes right off the rod with a dovetail connection. No more screws, no more clamps on the back. Goes on the rod just like that, and we can lock this in place. Turn of a pin. This is strong. This is not coming off of this rod. ReelQuickFishing.com. Dave, you want to add anything to this?
The really cool part about this is the simplicity of it. I fish hard all the time. I hold my rod the proper way. I know a lot of you don't. A lot of you have your hand back here. You always want to have your hand in front of the reel. That's the way that the whole design was made to do, is do it the right way. Normally, when you grab it the right way, you're dealing with the ferrule screws right here. And when you're grabbing it and undoing it, that screws keep coming undone. There's none of that happening anymore. It's a very easy system to use the right way. I was blown away when I saw this. I thought it would add a lot of weight to the rod. Actually, it takes away a lot of the weight.
Absolutely amazing. I'm going to throw the QR code up on the screen. Daniel, you can jump back in here if you have time, if you want to add anything to it. I know he's running a great special on products that are already existing. If you want to get in there and let him know. His phone number is available. Use the QR code or go to ReelQuickFishing.com if you're listening, driving around in your car, Spotify, Apple, Megaphone. Reel, just like a fishing reel, ReelQuickFishing.com. And you can go over there and check out all the cool things he's got going on the website. Save a bunch of money on pre-existing product. He's almost given it away. It's such a great deal. And you can check him out at ReelQuickFishing.com. Daniel Rubin is the owner, proprietor, and he will take for checking out the ReelQuick fishing products. So back to what we were talking about.
Back to what we were talking about, there's a real good question that I think Daniel interjected there.
Yeah. Are they making acid wrap rods?
Are blanks being designed for acid wrap? Now, I'm not a blank manufacturer. I've been in numerous factories where they were being produced, and I understand the process, and I understand things about those rods. And I think not. Some real rod manufacturer may want to correct me on this, but my feelings are no,
Daniel?
Because the backbone of the rod is something that manufacturers spend a whole lot of time working on and trying to get just right up and down that. And you can't really have just a totally straight line of that backbone. It kind of meanders a little bit because your material shapes are not pure conical, they're kind of wedge shaped. And so that backbone meanders a little bit, but it's on an average of one side. And as we all know, you can pick up a rod and bend it and feel where that backbone is. But if a manufacturer was to try to build a blank for acid wrap or spiral wrap, that would best be done, I believe, by having that backbone do a spiral down the rod. Is that possible? I can't say no, it's not possible. I'm just sort of bewildered by the process of how you would actually try and make that happen. And then to take advantage of that the wraps, the spiral wrap would have to put guides exactly where the backbone turns around.
Right.
And so that would just be first a total complex. How do you make this happen for the
Right.
manufacturer? And then the builder would almost have to have markings on it, because you're not going to bend that rod and feel where the backbone is now, because it's spiraling. So the rod would need to be marked for the rod builder on where the backbone is as a spiral, so that they would know where to put the guides, basically, either on or opposite side of the backbone. So I think, boy, it would be really, really, really difficult to do that.
Absolutely. It'd make Tiffany think even more, and she's got enough to think about. Daniel Rubin.
Hey, you guys, was that David answering my question about Blank's design for spiral wrap, or did I come in late?
No, you came in right at the right time.
Yeah.
Yes, it was David
Awesome.
answering.
So I was
what's
kind of
going on
wondering
there?
if the way that the blank is wrapped spiral, if they did it the opposite way, maybe it would never peel apart. Anyways, we could get into blank technology. I just wanted to step in. I'm driving hands-free, totally safe. Just wanted to thank Dave for putting that commercial on for us. He nailed it the first time. And to let everybody know, I'm in communication right now with Winthrop and in communication with Batson, and got permission from Winthrop to use my part on their Winthrop bending butt for the new product showcase next year at ICAST. And we are going to blow this up with Winthrop. Bill Batson's going to make the product, and hopefully we win an award for this. Would be super awesome. So I'm going to start promoting this now. Don't even have the parts in my hands, but they're coming very soon. So you guys stand by for that. That's just happening now. And I would like to, if Dave's permission, invite somebody from Winthrop to come on the show with us on a Thursday.
Anytime.
I think I can make that happen. These guys are really like the product. They really like that I adapted my product to their bending butt, or to their butt system. It fits on a couple of them, actually. So anyways, I'm driving. You guys carry on. Mute me if you want.
Wait a minute.
Just want to wish you guys. Yeah, go ahead.
What about, you got some things going on with pre-made product? You're selling them for a super big discount, right?
Absolutely, Dave. We have all of our rods in stock right now. I'm giving 25% off on the rods from the retail price. It's a pretty good savings. We have rail rods. We have all three sizes of Seeker OSP rail rods. I think we have a couple of sizes of Rain Shadow rail rods in stock. We have some lightweight rods now that we're pairing up with the Tesoro 5NS, Dave. I have 10 of those rods coming in, 5 with plastic guides and 5 with ring that Tiffany's actually working on now. We're going to do a special on those for the guys that want some lightweight ReelQuick rods. And they're going to be, I'm probably going to give those reels off just a little bit over cost, which will be super enticing because they kind of took a little hiatus from making that reel, and people like the reel. I've got, I think, 18 left in stock. So this is all trying to gather some money up so I can pay for 4 shows next year, you guys. I want to attend 4 trade shows, and yeah, I could pay for it out of my own pocket, but I think it's time for ReelQuick to start paying its way. So all I need to do is sell a few rods, every couple of weeks, and we'll have the money to do the trade shows. So that's what I'm looking forward to, Dave. Keep promoting this thing, keep getting it out there, and keep working on getting my production down, which Dave's been with me for a few years now. It is not easy producing something, guys. I'm going to tell you, from somebody that's never really produced anything, it's not easy to get into it. But we're going to make it happen. Now we got some team members that really like the product that are going to help me with the production, which is Bill Batson and his team. And the guys at Winthrop are on this now. They really like this product. So they're also quoting on manufacturing the product in the United States. So we'll see how that goes with them.
Perfect, Daniel. I hope it's helping being on the show every Thursday. I hope it's giving you a little boost, and hopefully everybody goes over to the ReelQuick website, checks out his rods and reels. The Tesoro 5 is my favorite reel. I know they quit making them, but Daniel's got 18 of them. Get them while they're getting good, gang. I don't know. I asked John Bretza the other day, why'd you discontinue my favorite reel? And he's like, well, we're going to make another one. It's going to be better. I'm like, okay, well, this one's pretty good. I don't know, or whatever. Who am I to tell him how to make a reel? But it's my favorite reel I've ever fished with since Penn. It's star drag, narrow, holds a phenomenal amount of braided line, and it's narrow for guiding the line back and forth.
I have
What?
those G270 rods and the Tesoro. I'm going to mate up a couple of those and give a super amazing price on them. It'll be 25% off on the rod, and I'm going to give those reels out like just a small fraction over cost. We'll have those on the show next Thursday. Let's do that. We'll have a few of those things available.
We'll do it.
Awesome.
So, yeah, guys, I'm telling you, I'm going to take you off because you're blurred out of here. Gang, the Tesoro 5 is my go-to, very most favorite reel I've ever fished with. Star drag. It's not a lever drag. I don't understand lever drag. They don't make any sense to me. And it's not a 2-speed reel because I don't understand that either. I've never, ever in my life gone, God, I wish I could flip it into low gear. I'm not that guy. You guys probably are way better at this than I am, but the Tesoro 5 fits everything I want to do, from fishing in Alaska for giant lingcod to fishing in Cabo for marlin. I caught a marlin on the Tesoro 5 last week. We got it on video. And then I'm going to go down to the beach tonight. Me and Kelly are catching these look downs. This an incredible fish. They're not giant. I know you guys only like to catch giant fish, but this is kind of a cool fish. We're catching them on the beach last night. We call them a tortilla fish or a look down, and they were everywhere in that little corner right behind my right shoulder. They're all over in that corner right at sunset. They're foaming on the little sardines, and I'm in there throwing the Tesoro 5 and getting them. I'm getting them on it. It's pretty fun fishing. So I just wanted to show you the picture of the big whopper fish I caught. Really,
It's beautiful.
That does look like a truckload of fun.
Oh, it's so cool, Dave, to get out of here at 4:45 and be standing on the beach at 5 o'clock catching a fish, and then roll back in here at 6 o'clock to do the live fishing show. Oh my God. That life doesn't get much better.
It's a tough life, Captain Dave. It's a tough life. I'm glad you get to live it.
Yeah, and then I had to go catch a marlin just to show everybody I could catch one on the Tesoro 5. You don't need a big giant reel to catch a striped marlin. You just need a good boat driver. All right, gang. Well, we got 7 minutes here. If you got a burning desire to ask a question, we're right here. We're ready to go. Let's see. Any other questions? Did I miss?
Or I can give them the breakdown of the Batson's way of the spiral wrap transition that Keller loves to do.
Yeah.
Keller likes this way more than the simple way because it's a more smoother transaction. So the first guide, the one that's closest to your butt, this one is going to be placed right on top at 0 degrees. So this is your conventional guide. Then the second guide, also known as a bumper guide, this one is going to be wrapped on at 45 degrees. Then your third guide is going to be at 90 degrees. Your fourth guide will be at 135 degrees. Your fifth guide would be 60 degrees. Then your sixth guide would be straight up at 180 degrees on the bottom. Then each subsequent guides after that will all be 180 degrees all the way down to the tip. The key thing on this is your tip is not up. like you would when you start a conventional guide. Your tip is going to be facing down. And that is the Batson way on the conventional style, transforming from a conventional rod to a spinning rod, even though it's not a spinning rod.
Well, we're reading it kind of backwards, Captain Dave. and you're muted.
Tim Ogilvy was asking me, have you tried the Tikara rods? Have you tried that thing? I got two of them right here. I got two of them. I got a long one and a short one. And no, I have not fished with them because this fish is in the surf. And so we got to deal with the waves and stuff. These are set with a X amount of line, and I'm not going to get to them. This is going to be more for fishing in the bay or fishing in the harbor. But yeah, I got two rods right here, Tim Ogilvy, that I would love to catch some fish on. And when I go back up to Alaska, which I'm going up to Alaska, and I want to bring all of you with me, I'm going to have the Wild Alaskan Lodge folks on the show next Friday. And that is a unique lodge. It's carved into the side of a cliff in the middle of nowhere, right outside of Pelican, Alaska. The guy has 9 boats. Get this. I went up there last year, took 2 buddies. It's self-guided. So you got your boat. You're there for 5 days. You're fishing for 5 days, self-guided. What does that mean? That means you're the captain. You drive the boat, you take your buddies, and you go fish where you want to fish for what you want to fish for. The only rule is you have to be at the dock at 5:00 for dinner. That's it. Other than that, you go wherever you want, do whatever you want, have as much fun as you possibly can have. It's pretty spectacular. We're going to be on the show next Friday talking about that, and it's all that in a bag of chips. And I think June's going to be the time. And I want to start letting everybody know because, yeah, it's kind of pricey. It's Alaska. Let's be honest. It's self-guided, which 90% of us, especially Dave Bacon and Tiffany, I got them all excited right now, self-guided, because not that anybody doesn't know how to fish and the guides up there do a great job, but sometimes I just want to do what I want to do. And it's kind of cool. And I'll tell you what, we only caught about 30,000 fish in the 5 days I was up there doing what I wanted to do, but we were fishing for what I wanted to fish for. So it was kind of cool. We didn't catch giant flipping halibut, but we caught a whole bunch of halibut. We caught a whole bunch of lingcod. We caught a whole bunch of rockfish. We fished most of the time in 25 feet of water. It was pretty epic. Anywhere that you thought, Dave, it's so weird because we're driving around and there's a piece of stringer of kelp. And I'm like, let's go over there. We drive over there and you drop down your lures. It's 30 feet deep. And there's every fish you could imagine on this one stringer of kelp. And it's like, wow. And if you hit the bottom, hang on, because it's a big lingcod and he's taking you right into the one rock that the key piece of kelp's growing on. And that was like zillions of fish everywhere we went. It's pretty magical. So one thing about me is I just love to fish, and this was right up my alley. I was with the people that I want to fish with, fishing for what I want to fish for. It was pretty fun. We even salmon fished, and we went and trolled, which I'm not a big fan of trolling, but we had to get our salmon in the box, and they said that's the only way to get them. I find that highly unlikely, but who am I to second guess them?
You know, it's certainly a way to get them. The only way, nah, but it's certainly a way to get them, and it's a way to twist lines and tangle lines and do all kinds of fun stuff. But you catch salmon.
Oh yeah. Well, I never fished trolling with this downrigger and structure, and let me tell you, they had to buy me a lot of sinkers. I was breaking off a lot of downriggers until I figured it out. But it's kind of hard to not do it the way that they're doing it when you're getting doubles every time you troll. You're just getting doubles. The only thing that got in the way were the killer whales and the humpback whales, because they're in the bait ball with us, and and the salmon are in the bait. It's just wild. It's just really fun. I had a really good time.
When they tell you how to do it and it's working, it's just so hard to argue with success.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And we took the owner of the lodge out fishing with us one day just to kind of see what he's doing and what he's all about. It was kind of cool. It was kind of cool. But yeah, Mike Lewis, you could use all the bait you want and no one would get mad at you for cutting up fish. We were cutting up salmon and using them for bait. It was kind of cool. It was, nobody gets mad at you for cutting up the fish to use for bait. But I'll tell you what, where I was fishing, all you had to do is drop anything down. You could have dropped a piece of lead down with a hook on it and caught a fish. It didn't matter. There was just so many fish in so many areas that don't ever get fished. I don't think, anyway. It was zillions of miles of just the most coolest stuff. And then to get back in the afternoon at the lodge and just kick back. But it stays light till the weird thing, David, stays light till 1 o'clock in the morning. And then the sun comes up at 3 in the morning.
That sounds like a long fishing day. Just the way
the first day we were like, we were going to fish. We're going to fish the whole time. And we did. We fished until it got dark. And then we're like, we're going to get up at 3 o'clock in the morning. We're going to go sleep for an hour. We're going to get up at 3 and go back out. And at 5 o'clock in the morning, we're like, oh my God, we're dragging ass down to the boat. It's like, we never fished the afternoon after that. After 5 o'clock, we were kicking back at the lodge, eating, watching videos. And that was that. We got that out of our system the first day. You think you're going to do it, but being on the boat for 12 hours is and catching fish nonstop is pretty asinine.
That is tiring. Yes, we know this. That is tiring. It's happy tiring, but boy, is it fatiguing.
It's crazy. So yeah, we're going to have them on the show. But you know what? We got tomorrow. I have a gentleman, Ben, who hunts Catalina, and we got big news, gang. There is so much garbage going on at Catalina. The Wrigley sold the island. This is all brand new news to us. Wrigley sold the island. They chemically castrated the buffalo on the island, unbeknownst to all of us. So there won't be any more baby buffalo. There will be no more buffalo. When they're gone, they're gone. And then they want to get rid of every single deer on the island. They want to eradicate them all. And they want to use helicopters and they want to use machine guns. And we're digging into this and we're finding out this guy took that beautiful horse stable up on the top of the island that the Wrigley's made. And they had the Appaloosas that I'd never seen before at that. He tore all that down and he built a winery on Catalina. And the reason why he wants the deers gone is because the deers are eating the grapes. Bunch of baloney. I think we need to, with California wanting to conserve the fish and the rockfish and the da-da-da-da, I don't understand what the hatred for deer is, and I don't understand the hatred for the buffalo, but I think that they're not buffalo, they're bison. Buffalo live in Africa. But I just think we need to reveal these people. These are the people that are making you and I, David and Tiffany, stop fishing. They're the same people that are making us stop fishing. And we need to we need to show them who they are. We need to show them that they're going to do something that you can't even comprehend. They're going to slaughter all the deer on the island. They're going to slaughter them. They're going to do it really quick, and they're going to do it, well, until we got involved, they're going to do it without letting anybody know. But now they're going to know.
I watched the process happen on Santa Rosa Island with the big elk.
Wasn't that tragic?
And the pigs. And yeah, it was tragic. That's a good word for it. Tragic.
And those elk, I don't really know much about them, except that I read about it a little bit, and I was told one of the most healthiest elk populations. big, strong animals, big as horses.
They were.
And for no reason at all. They wiped them all out.
They didn't want them there.
What are
Whoever
they earning?
whoever the they is, yeah. Although you're right, those are big, powerful animals. We'd see them when we were fishing around the lake the coves and stuff.
It's just a big lake.
It's just a big lake, like Captain Dave was saying, yeah. And we'd see them, and one of the funny memories is my son. He was standing on the beach one time, and it was straight up behind him, so he couldn't see. But really, only about 20 yards from him was this giant elk, and they couldn't see each other because the elk was here and he was on the beach. And then, so I'm hollering him, pointing up towards the elk, and finally he stepped out towards the water so he could look up on the hill. And him and the elk turned and saw each other at the same moment, and they both did exactly the same thing. They both jumped about 3 feet.
It was hilarious to see that.
Yeah, pretty sad. Pretty sad. All right, gang. Well, thank you very much for a great show today, Tiffany and David. Thank you guys very much. Daniel, thank you for always supporting. And what's my current thought on the current administration? It'll probably piss you off, but I'm all about it. I'm all about it. I'm all about blowing drugs up out of the water, and I'm all about getting rid of all the illegal aliens that are in our country, and I'm all about showing the corruption and the money and the money laundering and all the other stuff that's going on. And so I'm 110% behind him. So if you don't like that, don't watch the show anymore. I don't really care. All right, guys, have a great day. Turn off the news. They're all lying. They're lying left, right, middle. They're lying. This is the only place you're going to get the truth. So come on the show. If you don't like it, don't watch it. It's real simple.